And welcome to the Sound Live Sports Network. District Baseball Round 1 coming at you right now from Mountlake Terrace High School. Do not adjust your watch. We know it's 2:20 p.m. We know we originally were calling for a 2 p.m. start. However, a little bit of a snafu with the umpire scheduling, a little bit of a mix-up, and we had a brief delay here at the high school. However, the umpires are now here. Teams have been on the field ready to go, and we are just about ready for action. Game between the Mountlake Terrace Hawks and the Ferndale Golden Eagles. Steve Willits along with Vince DeMiro. And Vince, first round district play. This is a big game.
It's a great day for some baseball here. The weather is holding out, and you can't ask for too much more on a crazy Saturday here in May. And the Hawks, for the fourth straight year that I have been intimately following this team, have made it into postseason, and I couldn't be more happy for these guys.
And an opponent that they're familiar with in the postseason, I should say.
Seems like it's always Ferndale. Here we go, Steve.
Here we go. Very first play, hit right to Phillips. Throws it over to Tice. Out number one, Dominic DeMiro, your son. One pitch, one down.
Gotta like that, huh?
And we're still updating our scores card here as well. That was the leadoff hitter for Ferndale. That was Peter Pennylee. Did talk to Bethuse briefly right before the game. 1-2 count, just a bit outside. Bethuse he believes his record is 2 wins and 3 losses on the year, but that's a little bit misleading. This is a team that didn't give him a lot of run support. Oh, that was close. Maybe just a bit low, right over the plate. Ball 2. 2-2 is the count to Bethuse. So he is, in fact, their number one starter. Ferndale finishing the season with a record of 10 wins and 9 losses overall. Mountlake Terrace with a record of 11 wins and 9 losses. Very evenly matched opponents here. As DeMiro regains his composure. Looks into Wyatt Allman, the catcher. Ball 4. So Bethuse drawing the 2-out walk. And that will bring up the cleanup hitter. Number 4, this is Kyler Brudwick. Brudwick, the third baseman, a junior. First junior we've seen from these guys today. The top 3 in the order are all seniors. High and outside, ball 1, 1-0. To Kyler Brudwick. Both of these teams scheduled to play their second game of districts on Tuesday. Strike called outside corner. Winning team will move on to the semifinals, which will be played at Meridian Park over in Shoreline against the winner of Meadowdale versus Marysville-Pilchuck, a game that's taking place at 4:30 today. Strike 2 called. Losing team would play the loser of that game, and whichever team is the highest seed would get the home field game at their home high school, also on Tuesday. And of those 4 teams, Pilchuck's the highest-ranked team, and Bethuse takes off for second base. The throw is right on the mark. Nice play by Wyatt Allman. And out at second base is Bethuse. 3 batters, 3 outs. We head to the bottom of the first inning. No score. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
It's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com.
Are just about ready to face off against Bethuse for the first time today. Mentioned this earlier. Last year, these same 2 teams played each other in the first round. A 2-0 Ferndale victory, and Bethuse went the distance and pitched the complete game shutout.
Yeah, same matchup.
Exact same matchup with Dominic in there as well.
Last year, of course, we were up at Ferndale. Beautiful, warm spring day. And, at the time we were thinking, geez, this Ferndale team's pretty solid. And they did some things defensively that we thought were pretty smart, including they played their outfielders really deep. And the Hawks just seemed to be hitting the ball right to them. And by golly, Ferndale kind of ran the table in the districts, and they proved to be a very, very good team in the postseason.
An interesting team. They're 10-9 this year, playing up in the Northwest League, which is a 2A league. very similar to last year, really. Their record was slightly better going into the district tournament last season, and we thought, trying to look at it objectively, that we were getting a pretty favorable matchup just because of that reason. And as it turned out, they ended up running the table in districts and won the district championship. And we'll see what they can do here. Jaden Yackley, number 7, playing third base today, is the leadoff hitter. We'll run through the lineup here in just a moment. As Yackley belts that one down the line and just foul. Got a nice bat on that one. Unfortunately, just pulled it a little bit to the left. So to get you caught up here on the 2-1 count, we'll await the next pitch. Slipped out of Bethuse's hand. Even he knows it. He's laughing a little bit. 3-1 count to Jaden. So following Yackley, Drew Sears, the sophomore, batting second. He's playing shortstop today. Jason Shavanko playing center field. If it isn't working, you hit the batter. So
that's exactly
Shavanko will take his spot over on first base. Notice that that's not the first time today that he's had a ball slip out of his hands.
Right.
And that will bring up Dominic DeMiro, a player you know a thing or two about, being that he's your son.
Yeah.
388 batting average on the year in 49 official plate appearances.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know where the 388 is. I'm keeping pretty good stats. I got them up in the 400s, but could be.
Well, and now that I'm looking at this, you might correct me on this one because I know you know this for a fact.
Yeah, the Max Preps don't pay attention to that one. We have it. There's an official scorekeeper. Well, I shouldn't say official, but there's a parent, Ted Rainin, who's been keeping great stats all year long, and he's got them in the low 400s too.
We'll check with Ted next time because I have a feeling I know who puts these Max Preps in here, and I think it's your coach. But that's another story. Before that, might have been on the mark if it hadn't been dropped.
Right.
3-1 pitch to DeMiro. Instead, we get another throw back to first base where Shavanko, I was going to say getting himself dirty here early, but there's no dirt out there on first base. This is an all natural or artificial surface.
Yeah, getting turfed up over there.
DeMiro just gets on top of that one a little bit.
Got a pitch to hit.
Full count. Coming to number 3. Sound like a broken record here, Vince. I know I asked you this last game, but we talked about this before. 2 weeks ago, DeMiro injuring his hand, being hit by a pitch in a game against Meadowdale. How is that hand doing?
I would say it's about 80% back.
Umpire calls that play dead before it starts, and Bethuse, who threw that ball inside, will not count, and Shavanko, who was off and running on the full count pitch, heads on back to first base.
Yeah, it's about 80% back, and I think it probably bothers him more hitting than he does throwing. So let's see what effect it has.
Right down the middle, he gets a hold of one, and it's going back to left field. Carlson fades back, gets underneath it, and makes the catch. And here we go into the top of the second inning of play. No score. First round district playoffs. Mountlake Terrace versus Ferndale. Stepping into the plate. Kyler Brudwick hits that one just past a diving Jaden Yackley over at third base into left field. And there is your first base hit of the game for either team. Brudwick ends up on first base. And that will bring up the right fielder, number 18, the sophomore, Kyler Shemstead. Not very often you see 2 Kylers back-to-back in a starting lineup, or on a team for that matter. And here we go with the second Kyler. DeMiro throws that one just a bit inside. Ball 1-0. Again, we do not have stats for Ferndale. Brudwick is their number 4 hitter. Stands over on first base. Shemstead taking a crack at that one with a bunt, misses it, and I think Allman wanted to throw down to first base. Tice wasn't quite ready for it as Brudwick had a little bit of a lead there.
Anytime as a first baseman, anytime you see a guy laying down a bunt and you're going to stay home, you got to get back to the bag.
Might have been an interesting play otherwise. Yeah. No throw, however, and we're still looking at a 1-1 count as DeMiro
use specific times to throw the fastball, otherwise stay off the fastball. Well, that's a good pitch. We've seen that called for strike most of the season.
Yeah, a little bit outside. Ball 2-1 is the count. You're right. We've had some wide strike zones here at the this particular field this year. That one over the plate, chopped back towards the mound. DeMiro takes it over, flips it to Tice. Shear is out. However, Brudwick for the second straight play, advances 90 feet, gets over to third base this time on the sacrifice. 2 out, Brudwick on third, and that's going to bring up number 19 in the first baseman, Colin Wagner.
He's a big young man here. Again, not knowing too much about Ferndale, and it's tough to scout them. We're not sure where the big bats are in this lineup.
I was talking to, as a strike called over the outside corner, I was talking to some of the parents for Ferndale right before the game started, trying to get a little bit of a scouting report. They are a team that doesn't score a lot of runs, and I noticed that just from looking through the statistics. Hits that one towards second base. Phillips goes up, makes the catch, and Wagner is out. And that is the end of the inning. I was just going to say they do not score a lot of runs. We mentioned that Bethuse does not get a lot of run support this year. They are a team that is averaging 4.6 runs per game. Only giving up 2.7, however, and that's how they got here. We're going to take a quick break. We head to the bottom of the second. No score. A strike. Outside corner. 0-1 is the count. Chops that one towards the third baseman. Bobbles it briefly. Fires over and gets the tag. He is out. Nice play by Brudwick. Bobbled it initially, picked it up on the second bounce. Fired it over to Wagner, a little bit off the line, and Wagner smartly recognizing that and just putting the tag on Tice. And they have one away. And that will bring up number 4, Wyatt Allman. Allman taking the first pitch and lining it right down the first baseline towards his own dugout, and his teammates all ducking for cover over there, as are a few of the fans who are lining up along that fence to watch the game today. Allman having himself a heck of a season here, really playing well as of late. Seems to kind of be a double machine. Every time I turn around, he's hitting another double. Unofficially, we have him down as batting .362 on the year with 7 doubles. Hits that one into center field. Akers floating over. Go down to his knees, but makes the catch for out number 2. Nice play by Akers. And that will bring up number 5, Ben Rainin, who's playing DH today. Rainin swinging at the very first pitch, fouls it up into the mesh right above the plate. 0-1 is the...
Pitch is the first pitch. You know that it's an ongoing process when you're watching your kid pitch. So,
I can imagine it is. And Nate Carlson, Dominic made it a little bit easier that time, as that one was definitely inside. Ball 4.
Yep.
Second walk of the day.
Just do not want to do that. The only upside is that maybe you can get this kid to ground into a double play here, but you can't rely on that for very long as a pitcher.
Yeah, Luttrell batting in the number 9 spot. He's a senior. And for the second straight inning, Ferndale getting the leadoff batter on. Luttrell lays down the bunt perfectly. Allman picks it up, fires it over, and goes right by Danny Tice. And on the play, Hunt backing it up is going to fire over to third. A close play. Yackley tries to apply the tag. It's too late. And we've got runners on the corners here in the top of the third, and nobody out.
That's really unfortunate because Wyatt made a great play there. I'm not quite sure. Maybe the runner blocked. There's some concern here now. Okay, is there runners There's interference. Now, wait a second. The kid's on the kid over here on third.
Might have to go back to second, or does he have to go back to first on the play?
Sure. Boy, this is very confusing.
So they're saying that Allman had his throw impeded by Luttrell running down the first baseline, or running inside the line, rather. And here we go, bottom of the third inning coming right at you. No score here at Mountlake Terrace High School between the Hawks.
Not quite sure what's going on here. I tell you, Matthews and the shortstop took a long time discussing something, and now Matthews taking a long time just even getting to the mound. Interesting.
Zane Phillips with his first at-bat of the game.
Ground, but they make good throws.
That one off right down the first base line. Count remains 1-2.
Yeah, it was one of those great bang, bang. The kid was up in the bottom of the inning, the top of the inning, comes up, makes a great play in the outfield. It was really cool.
Swung on and missed. And that is the first strikeout of the game for either team. So as well as these pitchers are going,
weird,
they're having the ball put in play. They just seem to be doing a nice job of giving their fielders a chance to make the plays. And for the second time today, Jaden Yackley coming to the plate. Yackley also flying out to left field in his first at bat.
Yep.
Takes that one inside. Ball 1-0 is the count. Yackley, a junior, having himself one heck of a year. Hits that one into center field. Akers floating back on it. Gets underneath it and makes the catch for out number 3. We are cruising right along here. Very quick 3 innings, no score. We head to the 4th. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Along, it's really kind of amazing.
Give credit to both of these pitchers then for being able to throw a shot at it with a smaller strike zone.
Yep.
Ball's a little bit low and outside. Ball 2-2.
Yeah, we had hit batsmen, a couple of bases on balls, but the defense has done its job today.
And DeMiro so far only given up 1 hit. As you mentioned, he's put a few runners on. And Akers gets that one off the end of the bat. Foul. 2-2 count still. So it's worth mentioning again, this is the district playoffs. 8 teams make the districts. It's a double elimination tournament. 3 teams will move on to the state tournament, which starts in 2 weeks. Gets that one right down the right field line, and that one will drop. Hunt goes over to cut it off. And on the play, Akers goes into second base with a stand-up double for the 3rd straight inning. The leadoff batter gets on base here for Ferndale. Hawks were able to get out of it during the 2nd and the 3rd innings. We'll see what they can do here now. And that will bring up the pitcher, Brady Bethuse.
That's where the Hawks get burned on that shift. And instead of just kind of playing it straight up there, Hunt was shading over to center field. With Dominic mixing in as many change-ups and off-speed pitches, you would think that maybe they'd play it a little more straight up.
That ball is a little bit low. Ball 1-0.
So if you look out in the outfield right now, for example, the left fielder is definitely shaded towards center field, and if Matthews is able to pull the ball, it'll be an easy score.
And this is a shift that Coach Waters has used quite a bit over the last few years, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. He really understands the game and knows when to pitch certain pitches very well. He and Wyatt seem to be on the same page a lot this year, which has really helped. And at times, like I said, at times the shift has kind of caught him because he does like to go to that off speed, which allows a kid to pull the ball, to his strength. And the shift is opposite of the pull.
0-2 pitch coming up. Bounces that one up to the plate. Nice stop by Wyatt Allman. Getting his glove on it. 1-2 count to Brudwick.
Wyatt has really stepped up his game as far as blocking pitches. It makes such a big difference.
I was just about to mention that right before you said it. He's done a nice job this year. Strike 3, the first strikeout of this game for DeMuro. And that strikeout is brought to you by our strikeout sponsor, Icelandic Construction. 2 away here in the 4th, and that will bring up Kyler Shimstead. Shimstead, who grounded out to first base on a sacrifice in the 2nd inning. Pitch low and away, and Allman again making a nice stop on that, ball 1.
Yeah, in the first at-bat, when a kid definitely is going to bunt that whole at-bat, you're really not sure what he does with the bat when he's swinging away. We'll get a little look here.
Unless it's in district playoffs. Shear hits that one over to third. Yackley fields it. Fires it across the diamond. Shear trying to dive into the base. Tice makes the catch, and he is out. So the Hawks put a runner on, but they leave them stranded. We head to the bottom of the 4th. No score. Steps to the plate. Lays down the bunt. I shouldn't say lays it down. He popped it up into the air and making a very nice attempt at it is Brudwick. Comes diving in there and can't quite come up with it, but give him points for effort there. And that will be strike 1.
That's something Drew's going to work on. I'm sure he'll get very good at that. He's a good athlete. But he saw a situation where Brudwick is playing very deep at third. Why not try to lay down a little bunt for a base hit, and just got under the ball instead of staying on top of it with that bunt. I'd say that's one of the things that I think could be improved throughout all of Wesco is the bunting. Haven't seen very good bunting yet this year.
Sears swings away on this one, hits it out to they're going to hold it up. No, it gets away. Shavenko slides in. Hawks 1, Ferndale nothing. Dominic DeMuro with his 13th double of the season.
Wow.
Gets a little tricky from our vantage point. When he first hit that, I thought it was going to be right to the left fielder, and it just floated, and DeMuro getting all of that one up against the fence there. Carlson went up to try to make the catch.
Well, that's a good 350, 360 with that hit on the fence, too. That's a poke. Maybe 355, I would say, out there.
Cannot fault Carlson for that one. He was hustling. It just was over his head as DeMuro put a nice bat on it.
Ooh.
Danny Tice up for the 2nd time today. Grounded out to shortstop in the 2nd inning.
It's amazing how a play like that just changes your whole attitude towards things. You feel like Coach Waters to see that they're basically conceding that bag.
Tice with his 4th stolen base of the season. Pitch high to Allman, 1-1. I mentioned this earlier. Allman with 7 doubles this year so far, and don't have it officially in front of me. It feels like 5 of those have been in the last week or 2. He's been kind of on fire lately. If he can get one right here. Ooh!
And they hit him.
Hit him instead. Inside pitch.
Boy, now that play at second where Dominic getting picked is just huge. And Waters, rightfully so, now is going to get Allman out of the game with a courtesy runner after taking a shot there. My goodness.
And Lorang, the freshman, coming in to pinch run for him. As you mentioned,
good speed,
courtesy runner, so that does not mean that Allman is out of the game by any means. No. He will still be behind the plate when the Hawks take the field in the top of the 5th inning. So Tice on second, Lorraine on first. And Ben Rainen, the junior, who grounded out to second in the 1st inning, or 2nd inning rather, takes a pitch outside, but they're going to call it on corner and give him a strike.
Yeah. If that goes both ways, that's fine. but that's the widest it's been all day.
0-1 count. Bethuse fires it inside, or outside rather. This time they do call it a ball. 1-1 is the count to Ben Rainin.
Boy, this would be a nice little time for Ben just to single something here.
1 in, 2 on, 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th inning. Hawks with a 1-0 lead. Bethuse turns towards second base. Gets Tice to dive back into the plate.
It's an interesting move. I'm not so sure that he came off the rubber when he turned there. It's kind of interesting. If you don't disengage from the rubber and don't throw, that's a balk.
Outside ball 2, 2-1. Shearer faking the throw to second base. Nobody covering.
Not sure why you fake it there. Either you're going to throw it to second or you're not. You're not going to force the guy to go to third.
And Tice really not with that big of a lead at that point. He wasn't going anywhere. 2-1 count.
Ooh, got a pitch.
Got a really nice pitch. Just fouled it off. Strike 2. 2-2 is the count.
And the reason why I say I don't know why you fake it there, you know what I have seen happen, and you may have seen this happen too, is the ball come out of the catcher's hand, and then you're giving a free base. Inadvertently you like throw it into the ground kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Really nothing good can come of that other than what you just mentioned.
Yep.
And Bethuse outside corner, I guess. Strike
so.
3 called, and the inning comes to an end. However, thanks to a double by Dominic DeMiro, the Hawks with a 1-0 lead here heading towards the 5th. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And here we go, 5th inning of play. Wagner lining that one just past the diving Yackley into left field. Base hit by Colin Wagner. He's now 1 for 2 on the day. And I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but for the 4th straight inning, the leadoff hitter getting on base for Ferndale.
Yep.
So far, so good for the Hawks. Number 14 coming in to pinch run for him.
That must be a pinch run, too. Clearly they're going to try to lay down a bunt here, I would assume.
Get you the name of that player here right now. That is Ian Barnes, the junior.
Okay.
Got a funny story I need to work in here eventually about the bench for Ferndale. See if we can tell this and do it justice. Nate Carlson swings and misses at that first pitch.
Hey, what do I know? Swinging away here. Giving him a warning for what? Not sure what that was about.
So we're looking at an 0-1 count. So, Vince, I told you this story off the air, and I think this is, like I said, I tried to keep it clean here. Try to make it a little bit light as the next pitch comes in. No pun intended. Outside, ball 1. So I went into the Ferndale dugout before the game to get their roster. They do not write their players' jersey numbers on their reserve players.
Right.
So I went over to a handful of parents and started talking to them so I could figure out which of these reserve players are wearing which jerseys. 1-1 pitch coming up. Carlson hits that one just foul down the third baseline. 1-2 is the count. And what I found out is that if a certain jersey number goes into the game today, we're not going to be sure who's wearing it because C.J. Corbin normally wears the number 11.
Right.
And apparently the players came down on 3 different vans from Ferndale today. And number 6, or the player who normally wears number 6, as I reach for his name here, that is Chase Olson. Chase Olson wasn't feeling very good on the way down here, apparently, and
not.
got a little bit sick on the van ride down, and got sick on C.J. Corbin, who was wearing his jersey. Strike 3, swinging and missing there, and Colin Wagner strikes out. Actually, that's Nate Carlson, I should say, that strikes out. And that strikeout is brought to you by our strikeout sponsor, Icelandic Construction. So anyway, Chase Olson gets sick, for lack of a better term, on C.J. Corbin. And C.J. Corbin is no longer able to wear his number 11 jersey today because it needs to be washed now. So
Right.
if one of those 2 players comes into the game later on, we might be a little confused as to which is which. But at any rate, we hope Chase Olson is feeling better.
Absolutely.
Got the lead out, however, on the play, Andrew Luttrell ends up safe at first base.
Got that lead runner, though, so that's good.
Yeah, the fielder's choice there. A nice play by Sears to snag that one. Ball is hit over to second. Phillips takes it on a bounce. Throws it to Tice. And number 13, Pete Pennylegend, is out. He's now 0 for 3 on the day. And that is the end of the top of the 5th. We head to the bottom half of the inning. Hawks 1, Golden Eagles 0. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night and what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors.
So this is the first round of action. Today, we'll move on to the semifinals, where they will meet the winner of Meadowdale versus Marysville-Pilchuck, and that game is scheduled to take place on Tuesday at 4 p.m. at Meridian Park over in Shoreline. The team that wins that game advances to the championship game, and win or lose in the championship, you automatically qualify for state. So really, 2 wins in a row starting today, and one of these teams is on to state. If you lose this game today, you move into the loser's bracket, where you'll play on Tuesday at a site to be determined. And from there, you have to win 3 straight games to get into the state tournament to finish in 3rd place. So, again, win today, and you only have to really win 1 more game. Lose today, you've got to win 3 in a row. So this is a huge game for both of these teams. And we saw that last year where Ferndale beat Mountlake Terrace in the first round, ended up winning the district championship. Mountlake Terrace moved on to the loser's bracket where they played Stanwood and were eliminated. Michael Hunt looking at a 3-1 count here. Bottom of the 5th inning. So the other teams that are in this tournament right now, as Hunt looks at ball 4, makes his way down towards first. That will bring up Jaden Yackley. Head to the 6th inning. Mountlake Terrace 1, Ferndale 0. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network. And here we go, top of the 6th inning, 1-0 Terrace, and double in the 4th inning. And hits that one right back to DeMiro, fields it, throws it over to first, just in time. gets Tice out on the, gets over to Tice, I should say, and gets Akers out on the play. Brady Bethuse.
Well, I'm knocking on wood here, but got the leadoff batter out, so that's a good sign.
First time since the first inning.
Yeah.
Bethuse walking in the first inning, was then caught stealing, and then grounded out back to the mound in the fourth inning. Ball one, that might have been just a bit high, I guess. I think in terms of width-wise, I thought it caught the corner of the plate. That one is popped way up into the air. Tice just in foul territory along the first baseline. Makes the catch. 2 away very quickly. And that brings up the cleanup hitter, number 5, Kyler Brudwick. Brudwick, the junior, singling in the second inning, struck out in the fourth.
Be nice to get this out right here, and then that way in the 7th inning you're facing the second half of the lineup rather than the top.
Certainly the way that DeMero's going, I don't think we have to be concerned about having thrown too many pitches at this point.
I haven't been keeping track, but you're right.
And one. This game really not even an hour old yet. We mentioned
crazy,
it earlier. We
yeah.
started late because of the umpire scheduling situation as they.
That's a good pitch too.
Some uncertainty as to what time the game started. Game started around 2:30. We're looking at just a little before 3:30 right now. Moving right along here into the 6th inning.
Starting it off the plate and it's just staying off the plate, and that's usually a pitch that comes back in on him with natural movement.
Got that one there. Strike 2, full count for Brudwick.
Nice little punch out here if he could get it.
And as you mentioned, that would mean that the 7th inning would be looking at the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for Ferndale.
Wow, where's that?
Spoke too soon. Is that one apparently umpire felt it was a little bit low.
Wow.
Brudwick heads down towards first base. And that brings up number 18, Kyler Shimstead, the right fielder. Shimstead with a sacrifice in the 2nd inning and then walked in the 4th. Strike 1. That might have been one of the nastier pitches we've seen all day long. Oh, 1 count here to Shimstead. Strike 2, outside corner.
Finally getting that call, because that's critical on your left-handed hitter. You've got to be able to throw outside and pitch off the plate a little bit, and that caught the corner.
Now, that was the pitch that we weren't sure about earlier today, as the umpire seemed was calling that one ball for a while there. Fouls that one off.
You know, Wyatt was calling for a pitch out there. I don't know if Dominic saw it because he was paying too much attention to the runner at first, and sure enough, the runner at first did go. 0-2 count. It's okay to call a pitch out if you need to.
Shimstead stepping back into the box. Strike
There you go.
3 called. Another strikeout, and that one, like the others, brought to you by our strikeout sponsor, Icelandic Construction. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Mountlake Terrace 1, Ferndale 0. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night and what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors and coaches, so you know it's accurate and up to date, making westcoathletics.com the place to view official scores, schedules, standings, and photos for all the schools and all the sports in the West Coast Conference. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and check out westcoathletics.com, the official website of the West Coast Conference.
And here we go into the bottom of the 6th inning. Mountlake Terrace still clinging to that 1-0 lead. Unfortunately, just went a little too far to the left.
That's trouble.
It's going to be into shallow right field. A few players fading on over there. And finally, the second baseman, Luttrell, calls everybody off, makes the catch. One away, and that will bring up the pitcher, Dominic DeMiro. DeMiro flying out to left in the first inning. RBI double in the 4th.
I like to see him be patient here because Matthews is showing that he's changing things up now quite a bit. And so is Dominic. He knows that pitchers don't like that. He likes to have his rhythm in there, and so he calls time.
And both players stepping off there. Matthews finally ready for the wind. And Dominic gets underneath that one a little bit.
A lot of it.
Out into left field. And making the catch, almost stumbling there, is Carlson. Yeah, he really got into that one quite a bit. Otherwise, it just maybe bat a little bit higher up on that one, and it might still be traveling there. Flies out, and we've got 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th, and that's going to bring up Danny Tice.
Yeah, I was really hoping he'd be a little more patient and see a pitch or two there.
Curves that one over the corner. Strike 1 to Tice. Matthews wasting no time now. He's ready. Winds. Tice chops that one over towards third base. Brudwick throws it across the diamond.
Oh, my.
And they're going to say that ball beat Tice. It was close. 1-2-3 inning. We head to potentially the final inning of this game, the top of the 7th. Hawks clinging to that 1-0 lead. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Don't have any stats on these guys, so we're not sure what kind of power he has. He is a senior.
I'm glad to see that the outfield's playing straight up right now.
And no shift here. Wagner fouls that one off. 0-2 is the count. Apparently the hand not giving DeMiro too much of a hard time today.
Not on the mound, anyway.
He's got a double at the plate, too, so he's having himself one heck of a game. Easily the MVP thus far. Still needs 2 more outs here, but through six and a third, playing very well. Ball is grounded just to the right of Sears. He's way in the hole, has to fire it over there. Got him out!
Oh, my!
Nice play! Drew Sears way in the hole at shortstop. Bounces it across the diamond to Tice, who makes the putout. Doesn't hurt that Colin Wagner, probably the biggest fellow on the field, not the fastest or swiftest of foot, but still, Drew Sears guns it over there. Nice play by both Sears and by Tice. 2 away, and Nate Carlson is the last hope here for Ferndale in the 7th inning. Saw Sears end a game last week with a nice play in the hole also. Very similar to that play. Maybe not quite as deep last week for the final out of a game in which, I want to say that was against Everett. Very similar there. Strike 1, 1-1. Ferndale down to their final out here. Last year beating the Hawks 2-0 on their home turf in the first round of districts. This year the Hawks with the home game. DeMiro ready to go. He fires.
Oh, that's a great pitch.
And Ferndale will now be facing the loser of the Meadowdale-Marysville-Pilchuck game. 4 o'clock on Tuesday. If they end up playing Meadowdale, they would play a home game at Ferndale. If they have to play Marysville-Pilchuck, they would be on the road up at Marysville. So Ferndale, if you are a Golden Eagles fan, stay tuned for where you will be playing on Tuesday. You're not eliminated yet, but your road to the state playoffs just got a lot tougher.
Absolutely, and this, as we found out last year, going the other route is not easy to do. As the Hawks went 0-2 and out against two very good teams, that he went 9 innings. That was at Shorewood, but my recollection is that they scored one early and then one like midway through the game. So, and that's against Shorewood, is a phenomenal team.
Yeah, one of the best in the state.
Yeah. So to finish your senior year out that well on the mound, I think that's definitely been a goal of his. He's put the work in, he's put the time in, and definitely has stepped up here at the end. Other things that happen, you got to have some breaks. I mean, today, let's be honest here, a couple of those defensive plays out here by the Hawks behind Dominic made a huge difference. I mean, is there a better 6-3 play that you've seen than what Drew Sears did? I mean, that's not even close to being in the infield when he decides, you know what, I'm going to give this a shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to make this throw and see what happens. Let the umpire make the decision. And bang, bang, he gets that play there. And credit Tice for the stretch, too. That doesn't just happen. Sears is the real deal, and Drew could probably play just about anywhere on the field. And by the way, he hasn't pitched this year.
Right.
And he can pitch. And he's a young man, just a sophomore. Zane Phillips at second base today made a great catch on a high line drive that he timed perfectly. Yackley made some great plays at third. I've already said Tice. And let's credit Wyatt Allman, too, behind the plate, throwing guys out and keeping the ball in front of him. And I know it's been probably 4 or 5 years since I've caught Dominic because it's not fun to do that anymore.
Smart move.
But I know what he does with the ball. He takes tempo off the ball. He speeds it up. He moves it off the plate. He can do a lot of different things with the ball. And for Wyatt to keep that ball in front of him all day today, there was not a pass ball that I recall at all.
And we are back again at Mountlake Terrace High School. Your final score, district playoffs. Sounds even better, right, guys? Mountlake Terrace with the 1-0 victory over Ferndale. Got a couple of the stars of the game here joining me right now, Wyatt Allman and Dominic DeMiro. And Wyatt, I'll start with you. Well, first of all, let's just ask you real quick. This is your senior year, your final game at Mountlake Terrace. Nice to go out with a win, isn't it?
It's weird to think about. Last game at Mountlake Terrace High School. It was a big game. Dominic came out and shoved it today. And, these last moments in senior year, I'm just going to try to enjoy every last bit of it and give it my all. And I think that's what we did today.
Yeah, and you did a great job behind the plate today. A few balls that were in the dirt. We were talking about it up in the booth. I don't think anything got by you today. You're just feeling like you were in a zone today, weren't you?
Yeah, me and Dom had a good relationship going today. He always throwing strikes, and even if they were in the dirt, I could block him. I just had that confidence today.
And talking about Dom here, shutout, complete game, 7-inning shutout, your first one of the season, I believe. Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about your pitching performance. Were you just in a zone? What was going on out there?
I don't know. You just go out and do the same thing every time, and that's what happens when the defense plays well. I mean, you can stay in the game really well, really easily. So it's fine. Didn't really kick us in the butt, but yeah, he was telling me to extend. I was actually looking to steal on that pitch, and they just made a really good pick. I mean, that was the only way to get me out. It was a perfect throw, perfect catch, and so I didn't really get caught off guard, but they just made a great play. So.
Yeah, and being that it's a 1-0 victory, I can give you a hard time, especially when you get the 3-hit shutout and you hit the only RBI of the game. So a heck of a game for you, by the way. That was phenomenal. Hey, guys, looking ahead now, if you win one more game, you qualify for state. First things first, you need to play on Tuesday. Two teams you know pretty well. Obviously, the game is taking place later today. Meadowdale, Marysville, Pilchuck. Do we have a preference, or do we just want to make it?
Whatever happens. We're just going to focus on practice on Monday, and then whatever happens Tuesday, we're going to come out ready to play.
Smart answer, and we'll see you out on the field on Tuesday, correct?
Yeah, for sure. I'll probably be at first base or DH. We'll see what happens.
And how's the hand feeling?
Oh, it's doing a lot better. Still, I can't really feel that area, but it's not. Sometimes it hurts on hitting, but I've been working with Shannon, the trainer, and so everything's going really well. So.
Going really well, both his hand and the team right now. Again, congratulations to both of you guys. You advanced to the next round. Your final game here at Mountlake Terrace, but you're certainly far from being done in terms of the season. Hey, Wyatt Allman, Dominic DeMiro, thank you guys both for everything, and congratulations on a big victory today, and good luck on Tuesday.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks, guys. So we'll take a quick break. Your final score, once again, Mountlake Terrace 1, Ferndale 0. These two guys are advancing to the semis of districts. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
This is starting to come together. They have a very balanced team in terms of ages. Quite honestly, they're graduating just 4 seniors. They know they've got pretty deep talent both in the junior and sophomore class, and for this postseason, they've actually brought up a couple of freshmen who they're pretty excited about, and we haven't gotten to see them play yet, but I teach freshmen here, so I know a couple of the guys, and they're really upstanding young men, and I've been able to follow a little bit about what they've done on the JV level. So things are looking really positive for the Hawks, both in the short term and in the long term.
So Tuesday, 4 o'clock, one more time, Meridian Park Field in Shoreline. We will not be broadcasting that game, but we know that Mountlake Terrace has advanced. We wait to see who they're going to play, either Marysville Pilchuck or Meadowdale.
Right.
Stay tuned for that, and we can follow you on Twitter at MTHSPORTS.
Yep.
And certainly fans can get that at that point, or they can go to MLTnews.com. We'll have write-ups there, as well as the Hawkeye.org. Yep. And once again, we appreciate everybody watching us all season long. We hope this isn't our last broadcast.
Right.
Get to state maybe next week, and we'll see what happens. But it is the last game of the week for us.